Hey there guys, I'm Hello Japan, and welcome to my Sony press conference discussion slash final thoughts video. So this is the press conference that I've been most excited for, maybe with the exception of Square Enix. Square Enix and Sony are kind of like on the same level in terms of excitement. I knew Bethesda was going to be great. Bethesda's was amazing, but Sony's, theirs might be a little bit better. So far, I think Sony's is actually the best press conference, in my opinion, that we have seen so far. They pretty much kept momentum throughout their entire show. Kind of looking here to see what else. Again, for whatever reason, it seems whenever the indie guys come out, the momentum slows down a little bit, just because there's quite a few of them they need to get through, and it just kind of slows the momentum as a whole down a tad. But it still wasn't that bad. It was not that bad at all. With the exception of one. I'm looking at it right now. That one wasn't that good. So, before we get started, let me know what you guys think of the... let me just ask what you guys think of the event as a whole. Let me know if you thought it was great. Was it terrible? Did you think certain games were bad, certain games were great? Because I'm going to go through game by game, announcement by announcement, and say what they said and let you know what I think. So, with that in mind, let's get started, guys. So game number one, the game we have waited many an E3 for. The game many thought was dead. The game I held out hope for because I knew that Team Ico, now called something else, could bring us a game in the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus series that is worthy, hopefully, of continuing the legacy of those two fantastic pieces of art. Yes, not games, they are pieces of art, my friends. And that is The Last Guardian. The whole room lost their proverbial shit when that game was announced. Or when it was shown off. Now, I was sitting there like a madman screaming to my brother, "Oh my gosh, they announced it! It's here!" And not only did they show it off, they gave us gameplay. They gave us gameplay, which hopefully I'll be able to have playing in the background. Normally what I've been doing is I've been making a video, well, a video with video, and then a video with a still of just the thumbnail showing, I mean, and whichever one you see is the whichever one you'll get. If I get a copyright claim on the video one, you won't see that, and normally I won't get one on just the still, so that's kind of why I do the one with the still. But if you're seeing the video right now, you know it looks gorgeous. And that's the thing, is like it's at the point now where it's been gone so long, it's been hush-hushed for so long, that even if the game was just a pile of dog turds, I would love it regardless. Just seeing the name The Last Guardian made me incredibly excited. And the gameplay retains that puzzle platformer glory that Ico and Shadow of the Colossus had. Now, those games may be a little different in their approach. Ico, you had a lovely little lady friend who you had to help around the levels, and you had to puzzle your way around quite complex levels at certain points. Shadow of the Colossus, you traverse these giant hulking colossi and tried to take them down. And in this, it seems you're using your lovely little bird chimera friend thing, which I think is called Trico. It might have a different name now, but at one time it was called Trico. And with you being the little boy and the chimera helping you along, it looks like it's going to be a fun time. A lot of physics-based puzzles. You could tell that they're going to place high emphasis on those as well. And that's the thing, is we really don't know much about it. We just saw a little snippet of gameplay, which consisted of just one little tiny area, but it was gorgeous, and I'm incredibly excited. And it's coming out in 2016, probably holiday. They just said the year 2016, and again, the audience lost their minds, and I couldn't be more excited. So, for those of you who own a PS4, or at least have been paying attention to Shadow of the Colossus, Ico, Last Guardian nonsense for however long, let me know what you think in the comments below, because I am incredibly excited for this game, and it couldn't come at a better time 2016 definitely is going to be the year of PlayStation. I mean, 2015's been pretty good to it. It's on top right now. It's dominating Xbox. But I think 2016, with all the exclusives that are coming out and all the games of the future, it's going to be a jam-packed year. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. And then after that, another, well, I guess Last Guardian was kind of a brand new reveal, to a more or so lesser extent. A brand new reveal from Guerrilla Games, who brought us the fantastic Killzone series. Something a little different from them. And now I'm not really too sure what it is. It seems like it might be a survival kind of game, survival action, more so leaning towards the action side of things. It's called Horizon Zero Dawn, and from the little bit of story they explained, it seems like humanity, as it is modernly today, fell. Nature took back the cities, trees took up everything, and then for some reason, humans reverted back to very minimalistic metalworks, metallurgy, and very almost tribalistic nature they seem to be now. But giant robotic animals ruled the landscape. Giant robotic dinosaur-looking things, huge colossal robot creatures, and the main character that we see in the preview, she's hunting them and trying to take them down, and I'm assuming collecting them for scrap, which is kind of cool. And I'm very interested to see more. They did play a little gameplay teaser, which again, hopefully I'm playing now. If you don't see it, it means I got a copyright claim on something and I just don't want to put it in there. But I do like the prehistoric meeting modern era, seeing the ancient, advanced, relative humans of the past. It's just very, very cool and a very genius idea, and I can't wait to see more. Now, no date. I'm guessing this is probably going to either be a late 2016, early 2017 game. But it had a surprising amount of polish on it, so maybe we'll see a little bit more sooner than later. That would be a very, very cool thing to see. And after that, they showed off another Hitman game, which as of now is just called Hitman. I've never been a big fan of Hitman. I played a couple hours of Hitman Absolution on the PC. I never played through the originals. I think I have them through PSN Plus? PS Plus, maybe? Maybe. I think that might have been one of the free games at one point. Never been really my thing. Overtly stealthy games, I just never really have fallen for. So anything like that, just never been my cup of tea. So that's why something like Dishonored or Thief, where you can kind of play a little more actiony. I mean, it does praise you a little bit more if you do it full stealth. But if you play it actiony, it's still not going to chastise you for it. But Hitman, I mean, again, with Hitman you can too, but it's just makes it quite a bit more harder. Quite a bit more harder? Quite a bit more difficult. There we go. But a new Hitman, I mean, again, for those who like it, awesome. Personally, it's okay. It's cool. Nice to see that the series is continuing, but I could do without, or I could take it. Doesn't really matter to me. Let me know what you think, though. Are you a big fan of the Hitman series, or do you not really care about it as much as, like me? Because, frankly, it's just okay. So, I remember when this game was announced to be an exclusive to PlayStation 4, how many people lost their minds, and that was Street Fighter V. I remember, well, it's exclusive to PS4 and PC. Basically saying, hey, screw you, Microsoft, we're not coming to your platform. I remember when it was announced to be an exclusive to the platform, so many people were upset, and so many people lost their minds about it. Again, here I am sitting pretty like, you know, it's just a game. Don't take it too seriously. I know people are upset and it's dividing the audience, but come on. I mean, it's just Street Fighter. And I may get a lot of crap for saying that, but I mean, Street Fighter's pretty good. I enjoy Street Fighter. I have Street Fighter 4 on the PC. I think it was the original release of Street Fighter also. I've tried the original Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2, you know, Turbo, Ultra, whatever, Alpha, all those things. I've tried them in the past. Not a big fighter fan in general though, but I appreciate what Street Fighter is, and since Street Fighter V is coming exclusively to PS4, it's kind of cool, but again, I don't really care too much. But one cool thing to note is that there is a beta which will be available June 23rd. Now, whether or not that's just PS4 specific or PC will be included in that, I'm not too sure. I'm sure there's more details online because they're pretty quick about these kind of things during the press events. But you know, for those of you who are Xbox One, maybe only gamers, I don't know, or have both, you know, do you feel for the people who can't play this game? Or is it just like that's the nature of the beast? They gave them some money and they get the exclusive console rights. I'm very interested to hear your opinions on it. Because at one point or another, it was a pretty hot topic. It's kind of died down now, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get people's feathers ruffled once more now that the game's been thrusted back into the limelight. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. So, the indie child, the indie darling, rather, that was in many's sight, probably going into this, myself included, was No Man's Sky. I made a list a while ago of my top 10 most anticipated games of 2015, which obviously this game is not 2015 now. There's no release date, at least thus far. I mean, maybe we'll see it later on and say, hey, it's coming out in late 2015. Maybe. More likely than not 2016, though. But No Man's Sky, the premise of the game sounds absurd, and you're like, that can't really be a thing. That doesn't make any sense. How would that even be possible? Let me give you the premise. So you're flying around through space. Your spaceship, you can land on a planet, explore the entire planet, and it's a planet-sized planet. It's not just a little tiny asteroid where you just walk around for a minute and you're like, you're done. It's a pretty hefty world. But you can fly off the planet's atmosphere into a solar system, a real solar system like the one we live in. And you can fly between the planets, fly to the stars, take part in interstellar battles, all kinds of crazy stuff. But there are, if you pull out from the map, there are literally billions upon billions, maybe just millions, but there's billions of other solar systems you can go to. Each one of them with tons of planets inside, many stars, and this whole ginormous universe is filled with players. And possibly they'll have planets that will never even be explored, and possibly solar systems which will never be explored by anyone. Now, whether or not it is a unlimited, continuously expanding universe, I'm not too sure. They've been kind of like on the nose about it. They haven't really said too much. They've said enough just to get people's appetites wet and just keep people salivating forever. Like, people just want to know more and more and more. And we actually got to see tons of gameplay today, which hopefully, again, I'm showing, and if not, it'll be somewhere on the internet. But this leaves me very, very excited to see more, and I cannot wait for No Man's Sky. They said that they're going to announce more details soon about the release date, but those details can't come soon enough. And I know it's in my gut. I know it's going to be a 2016 release date, but here's me holding out hope for 2015. For those of you who've seen the game, let me know what you think of it. I think it's a fantastic looking game, and I am incredibly excited for it, and I cannot wait. This will be a game that will dominate my channel and my personal playthrough life as a whole, and I really hope you guys are excited for the game as well. So we had two little smallish games come out. One from Media Molecule, the guys behind Little Big Planet. It's called Dreams, a very weird sharing creativity kind of game. The kind of game the Media Molecule guys are known for, because they've done both Little Big Planet and Tearaway. Both games I love. They're both fantastic classic PlayStation games, and I suggest anyone play both of them because they are both PlayStation darlings and they're fantastic games. But here's Dreams. Now, I don't know what Dreams is, truthfully. It's like a sculpting art project that you can animate, share with people, they share with themselves, they share with other people, and you can grab their creations, mix it with your creations, and make movies and things. It's basically a big artist wet dream that's actually on mushrooms, and it's a lucid dream at the same time. It's very weird to explain. I think it's gonna be one of those things where you won't be able to know what it is until you actually play it. Like, that's pretty much how Little Big Planet was with me too. I saw it and I'm like, I don't really get it. I mean, I get that there's level platforming and that you can make stuff, but I don't really understand how this works. Then I played it, I'm like, this is fantastic, I love it. make levels. I want to play some. But this, I don't know if this is actually playable. I don't know if it's playable. I think it might just be consumable. And that's where I'm drawing a blank. I'm not really seeing where the interaction and gameplay comes from. Creation, yes. Gameplay, not so much. I just don't really understand it. Now, Dreams, probably going to be a fantastic game. Media Molecule, they always release good stuff. But I don't know about this one. This is going to be very hard, and I think this might be... I think this is going to be a hard sell. Honestly, I think this is going to be a very hard sell. Unless they can do something to prove that it is actually entertaining and fun, and not just for arty people. I don't know. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. And then very briefly, they had a game called Firewatch, which it seems like you're a forest ranger kind of thing or something. I don't know. It had it seemed like it had elements of light horror to it, and exploration, and it had a narrative or something. It was very, very weird. I'm not really sure what it's about, to tell you the truth. The whole game, you're talking to a lady on the radio, and you're a park ranger or a forest thing. I'm not really too sure. It's interesting and it looks pretty, but I'm not really too sure what it is. So this is a game to keep an eye out for, just based off of its interesting nature alone, I would say. And of course, Destiny. Destiny was basically made on the, well, not made on the PS4, but it was announced on the PS4. It said, hey, we're coming to PS4, we got the best exclusives. And of course, Destiny came and said, hey, our next expansion, the Taken King, which is going to be focused on Oryx. For those of you following Destiny, you know in one of the expansions, you know after the Sons of Oryx, or the Son of Oryx, and stuff transpired there. And this is the king coming back and saying, hey, you messed with the wrong dad. So it's going to be kind of cool. And it's actually releasing a day before my birthday, September 15th, 2015. So that's kind of cool. But beyond that, they didn't really show too much. I'm sure they're going to raise the light level. I'm sure you're going to have more exotics, more armor, more weapons, the whole 9 yards. So it should be a barrel full of fun and a ton of really, really fun content to come. And I'll just touch on this very briefly. They did show off Assassin's Creed Syndicate. They just showed a trailer, though, advertising the fact that Evie Fry is a playable character, driving home the fact that people were complaining in Unity that you can play as a female, so they're saying, hey, she's cool, watch her. And she is kind of cool. I mean, she had a really cool weapon, I thought, called the Cane Sword. They actually show it in the trailer. And she stabbed a dude in the head with it. So I like her. Stabbed a dude in the... You can impress me. I'm easy to impress. Stab a dude in the head with a cane. I'll fall in love with you. So, after this, they had a little Square Enix segment. Because, you know, Square Enix, they really took Final Fantasy. Started on Nintendo, of course. Transferred over to the PS1. And then for a while there, it was pretty much PlayStation Central. And they kind of mentioned that within the press conference here. And then they showed off a little cute little game. It was World of Final Fantasy. Oh, it was very cute, you know. Very chibi, the little characters are really cute. I was on PS4 and Vita. Looks like a nice little family-friendly Final Fantasy adventure, Final Fantasy romp. Comes out in 2016. It looks fun. I mean, it looks pretty cool. And then they had a big, giant bombshell. I was thinking at first when I saw it, I was like, is this Final Fantasy 15? It looks really good. This might be Final Fantasy 15. Me and my brother sitting there like, first, we're like, Kingdom Hearts? No, not Kingdom Hearts, not yet. We're going to see that at Square Enix tomorrow. 15? No, it's not 15. It doesn't look like 15. I was telling him. Like, I know what 15 looks like. It doesn't quite look like 15. We're sitting there trying to figure it out. Well, what is this? And then we see it. The Buster Sword. And I lose it. I'm like, dude, this is Final Fantasy VII. They're remaking it, finally. And again, one thing they didn't do is they didn't show the crowd's reaction on time. But when they pulled back from the live feed and cut to the audience in the auditorium, people were going ballistic. Ah, Final Fantasy! Screaming. So this is the one remake that people have been clamoring for years. Final Fantasy VII being remade for the PS4. It's first on PS4. They clearly note that. So I'm sure It's probably going to see release on the Xbox One and maybe the PC, because Square's kind of been doing that recently, releasing a lot of their Final Fantasies onto PC, so I wouldn't be too surprised. But I will definitely be picking this up on PS4, because Final Fantasy VII is one of those games that I've missed, but everyone has always told me to go play because it is a fantastic classic game that really shouldn't be missed. It is one for the history books, and I really need to take a look at it sometime. So, what better way than to play well, it's not really an HD remake even. It's a complete remaster, going back and completely redoing the graphics. I'm ready, man, I'm ready. And then possibly the strangest event happened. The Kickstarter was announced. And it wasn't like a regular Kickstarter. I mean, it was a Kickstarter, sure, but it wasn't for something that you would think, or at least that I was thinking would even ever happen. Now, I've never been a fan of the series. I know they got their start on the Sega Dreamcast. It was a series that was so expensive that every Dreamcast owner would have to buy 2 games in order to make money back for the company. And that game, my friends, is Shenmue 3. So the Kickstarter was announced during the press conference, and I really didn't know what to think. It was really out of left field, and I was very surprised by it. And again, I didn't play Shenmue 1 or 2. I know they have their spot in history as being like the incomplete trilogy that was supposed to happen but never did, because Sega went down after the first one came out, and then the second one was released on the Xbox, I believe. And it just kind of just never went anywhere from there. And now, since the third one was announced, they've had, at least as of recording this, and right now it's about midnight. So it's almost January, or January. It's almost June 16th right now. It's June 15th at 11:54. And around this time, they've already reached $750,000. I guarantee you before the end of the night, they're going to hit the $1 million mark. Now that is incredible. I believe their goal was about $2 million, and they're already almost there. It has to be one of the fastest growing Kickstarters of all time. I mean, this is, by the fans who wanted this, have wanted this for 15 years? However long it's been since we've seen Shenmue 2? I mean, this is one of those games that's been sitting there. The idea has been conceptualized by its creator for how long, and he knows kind of how he wants it to go and how he wants it to end. So, seeing it made for the PS4 would be incredible. And because of Kickstarter, we were able to see big revolutions like this, big changes within how games are made. People putting their money where their mouth is and saying, we want this. Don't have to listen to publishers anymore. Publishers don't have to say, yeah, you want this. Okay, here, publisher, here's my money. The developer can say, hey, do you want this? Sony can say, or I guess Sony might be a bad example because they're a publisher, but he'll be like, hey, the people want this. Sony's like, sure, let's help you make it. Let's help you do the Kickstarter. And he raised $1 million in under a day. I think the people want it. This will be very interesting. So I'm going to go over these two pretty quickly, just because they didn't spend too much time on them as relative to everything else. So, Batman Arkham Knight. To be frank, I really don't know much about the Batman series. I have all of them on Steam. I played an hour of the first one for a Let's Take a Crack At episode. I really want to go back and play them sometime. Just haven't had the time. So, Batman Arkham Knight showed off some more gameplay. Releases in a week or two, so it's pretty much just around the corner, and I'm pretty excited about it just because it's another Batman Arkham game, and they're pretty good. And then they also talked about Project Morpheus. Couldn't hold a candle to Microsoft's VR section of their conference, but it was still pretty cool nonetheless to see them bring out Morpheus and talk about it. I don't know, Morpheus maybe not so much. If anything, I'll probably just use VR for PC games. I don't think I'll use it for my console games. At least not now. Not until they have something that will actually sell me on it. At this point, they don't have anything that will sell me. Give it a couple years and then maybe, but right now I just don't see it being a feasible thing just quite yet. And then in a very, very big middle finger to Microsoft, the people from Treyarch came on out to give the world premiere of Black Ops 3 on the Sony stage. Now that's huge because for the past however many years, Activision has been taking Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer out onto the Microsoft floor and shown off the Call of Duty series every single year for the past however many years. And this is the first year it's been on PlayStation. And another middle finger is that normally the Xbox would get the map packs first. Nope, that's Sony this year. So it's really, really cool how quickly tides can turn on this industry. I mean, it's great. It's incredible. That 1 year, or even just, I'd say 2 years ago. So be generous, say 2 years ago. Microsoft was dominating the industry. They were number one. They were the best. They had the best system, the best hardware, the best software, like everything. And now it's Sony. It's really, really cool to see that the paradigm shift, just like that. But as for Call of Duty Black Ops 3, same old Call of Duty that we know for the most part. They have a 4-player co-op campaign, which is kind of cool. So if you want to play campaign with your friends, you can do that. And I very much might. I played through, and I'm currently uploading the Advanced Warfare campaign, which I thought was fun. But if I can play through with my brother, that'd be even better. Multiplayer seems about the same. Quicker pace now, though. Taking a play from Titanfall's book, it looks like, which isn't bad. I like faster paced combat as it is. Maybe, I don't know. Battlefield has its place as well, though. Battlefield's a little slower pace, is what I mean. And then they said it's going to be coming out November 6th, 2015. And it actually looks pretty cool. I am genuinely surprised how interested I was in the whole entire thing. It looks like it's going to be another dumb fun Call of Duty game. So what do you guys think? Are you guys going to buy Call of Duty, or are you already like done with the series as a whole? I might just actually be just getting into it as it is dying, which is kind of sad, but we'll see. We'll see. So sadly, they lost a lot of momentum with this last section of the conference. They had a guy from Star Wars and Disney come out. It was Disney Infinity. Now they kind of mentioned it very slightly, offhandedly, saying, "Oh, the kids in the family will appreciate this." Kind of saying that we have to mention more than just the hardcore. Now I get it. You have to reflect well for your investors, and mentioning only the hardcore of hardcore isn't going to show a diversity in your portfolio. So showing that you have Disney Infinity and like early exclusive rights to the Star Wars characters and things, it shows a pretty diverse portfolio like that. So that was that. I mean, it did slow it down quite a bit, but just because I'm not that interested in Disney Infinity. So that's the only thing, but it was cool nonetheless, I guess. And of course, what better game to wrap up the whole entire press conference with than Uncharted 4? Thief's End, or A Thief's End. They showed off some gameplay. I didn't write very many notes for it because I was just watching it. All I wrote, I'll read you what I wrote. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, beautiful game, Drake and Sully, crazy visual melee combat. They upgraded the melee system, which is pretty cool. And vehicle driving is far better than previous titles. Yeah, and then they had a whole segment where Nate was driving a big Jeep down... I'm guessing they might have been in Brazil. I'm not really too sure where they were. It looked Brazilian, maybe? Not too sure. But they were driving down these winding roads along the ocean coast and just flying all over the place, being chased by a big SWAT vehicle. And it was pretty cool, man. It was quite enjoyable. And if looking back at the series, if you remember the very first game with the jet ski level, you know that the driving can be pretty bad. So at least in this game it looked a little better, and the animations were fantastic. Drake responding to bumping into people, just being around things, and Again, the character banter between the people that you're playing with, Drake talking to Sully, yelling things at him, or Sully yelling back. I love the series, and it will be a shame if this is indeed the last game in this franchise. Now, whether or not they're going to continue more, which I wouldn't be surprised by, or if Naughty Dog just continues on with new stuff, which I would like. I would like. See a new IP. I wouldn't like to see a Remember Us. Was it Remember? Remember Me. No, Remember Me was a different game. The Last of Us. That's what it was. The Last of Us. I wouldn't like to see a Last of Us 2, just because I think that was a pretty well-contained story, and I don't think they should continue it. But maybe seeing a different angle of it might be kind of cool. Or a new IP altogether would be pretty sweet too, for probably the middle leg of the PS4 life cycle. So we'll see. We'll see though. But yeah, that is Uncharted 4. If you guys have any comments about Uncharted 4, they didn't show anything about the Uncharted collection, sadly. We know it's coming, but they didn't show anything about that. But if you have any comments, let me know in the comments below. I'm excited for Uncharted 4, and it sucks that it's not coming until next year though. So guys, that wraps it up for the first day of, well, I guess technically second day of press conferences. We had Bethesda's the previous day, yesterday for me, or 2 days ago probably for you guys. And then we had, in one day, we had Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, and Sony. Whew, 4 in a row. That was a lot, and a lot of videos to make. And then tomorrow we have Nintendo, Square Enix, and the PC gaming show. So a lot of stuff to cover and a lot of stuff to talk about. So hope you guys enjoyed. And again, if you liked anything I had to say, or you have any comments, please by all means leave them down below. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it. It is always much appreciated. I've been Hello Japan. This has been the Sony press conference discussion video. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. See ya.